Here we go, guys. The FA Cup final is upon us. Chelsea now, for the 5th season in a row, will actually be facing Arsenal in a final. The cups include the Community Shield, the FA Cup, of course, and of course the Europa League. But it is going to be the FA Cup final, guys, coming to us tomorrow at 5:30 PM UK time, kick-off time that is, from Wembley Stadium. This is a massive game. It's a final. It's Frank Lampard versus Mikel Arteta. It's a chance for both of their first trophies in management. Here we go. If we look back now at how both teams got to the final, Arsenal went ahead and knocked out the holders, Manchester City, with a 2-0 victory in the semis, and they will now be looking for their 14th FA Cup trophy, whereas Chelsea beat United 3-1 in the semi-finals and do have a chance here to cap off an excellent season for Frank Lampard with a trophy. The last time these two sides met, of course, was in that final in 2017 in the FA Cup. This was, we're not speaking about Baku just yet. In the FA Cup, the last time we met was in 2017. Arsenal simply shocked Chelsea on the day, and the Blues really cannot afford any more lapses like they had on that day. And just before we get any further, just a personal point from me. For me, look, this game is absolutely massive. Arsenal, they finished 10 points behind us this season, but now they have a chance to win a trophy in Arteta's, first half season as Arsenal manager, Chelsea, on the other hand, finished in the top 4, of course, and a win tomorrow, really, would put the largest smile on my face ever, guys. It would be a big win for Chelsea, make no mistake about that. But let's start with Arsenal, guys, and really let's start with no other place other than the fact that they absolutely love the FA Cup, they really do, and when I say that, I really mean it, because this is the only trophy that Arsenal have actually won since 2004, so, make of that what you will, but either way, they've won this trophy a lot, and that is what we're coming up against tomorrow, so it often is the bright spark in a poor season for Arsenal, and they'll definitely be looking for that to be the same sort of narrative tomorrow afternoon. They're looking for their 14th all-time triumph in this competition, like I mentioned just there in the intro, and for me, Arsenal have certainly improved under Arteta. He came in December. The league position is pretty similar. The results have been quite similar as well. Some wins, some losses, quite a few draws. That will definitely be a worry, I think, for them, results-wise. But I just think they seem a better side. I really do. And this game is absolutely huge for Arsenal. It really is. And honestly, a defeat could be catastrophic in all truth, whereas a win would mean so much for their club. I do feel that, and when I say that, essentially I mean that, Arsenal, if they win this, they get in the Europa League. If they lose it, they miss out on the Europa League, and surely would then struggle to bring in any players really in the summer, as well as actually keep hold of the likes of Dani Ceballos and Aubameyang, who surely would not renew or stay with the club if there isn't even European football full stop, with the Europa League being taken out of the equation. But Arsenal seem to like the FA Cup, guys, and they really, really will fancy themselves. And Chelsea, honestly, the only times we've suffered in FA Cup finals since 1997 has been twice, and both losses were to Arsenal. So it is time for the Blues here to get an FA Cup win against Arsenal. It's a massive game. Arsenal will certainly be up for it. They've got a lot to play for, but Chelsea, we know what to do, and we'll go there to win. So let's move swiftly on to the Blues then. It's Chelsea, it's our boys, and for me, this game is absolutely huge for us. I think it's been played down quite a little bit. We've seemingly buried Arsenal in Baku, just over a year ago now. But now, guys, we've got to go again. We've got to go out and beat them again in a final. And that's the task at hand tomorrow afternoon. And when I say that the game has been played down just a little bit, I basically mean that there's been less talk of pressure on Chelsea with, the fact that we've already had quite a successful season, unlike Arsenal, to be fair. We've got probably above what our goals would have expected. Arsenal certainly massively underneath them. But we are Chelsea, guys, and we are here to win this trophy. This isn't us saying if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. We want to go and win this FA Cup, and I know that I certainly do. In recent finals against Arsenal, we've actually had quite a mixed bag, but, we've had quite a few Community Shield defeats to them, and that FA Cup in 2017, of course, was not a pleasant day for us Chelsea fans. But we've got a big one, of course, against them in Baku last year, and there's no debate about that. There absolutely isn't. That was a massive, massive moment. I think that was being played up massively by all the Arsenal fans, and Chelsea went and beat them 4-1 on that day in Baku, so there's no debate about how much of a big win that was for Chelsea, and that really was a monumental thing in recent history for football. But like I say, this is the FA Cup, completely different circumstances, and Arsenal will really want to win this one. They really will, and they do like the trophy. They like playing at Wembley, but it's in our DNA now to go out and win this final, guys. And my God, the nerves are slowly racking up now. Let's move on to some team news quite swiftly then. Arsenal are actually going to be without Mustafi, Leno, Martinelli, Chambers and Pablo Mari for this one, so quite interesting. The main loss, weirdly, there could actually be Mustafi. In the back three they've been playing, he works quite well in it, so now he is going to have to be replaced with Rob Holding, I do indeed believe. Leno's obviously been replaced brilliantly by Emiliano Martinez in goal, and Martinelli, I don't really know if he would have got a starting lineup spot either way. For Chelsea, Gilmour is not going to be present. That's obviously been a bit of a kick in the teeth for us, but I think we can indeed survive without him. Same goes for Loftus-Cheek. You know, he's picked up another little knock, but that's nothing too serious, thankfully. And Kante, guys, and Willian will both be back in the squad. Whether they start or not, we don't know, but they are going to be back with us. But let's talk lineups, let's talk tactics, guys, and let's start with Arsenal. I've lined them up in a back three simply because you'd think that's their best chance of winning this match. It's been when they've played their best under Arteta, especially in the big games, and quite frankly, they sit back a lot. And let's just go through the lineup. Martinez in goal has been brilliant for them. He's made some amazing saves. In the back three, Luiz has been at the heart of it. He really enjoys playing there. Tierney's been in the left centre-back role. And then Rob Holding, I think, is going to be coming in at right centre-back. I think that's something that Chelsea definitely have to look at and see if we can get him behind and put some pressure on. In the right wing-back and left wing-back areas, I've gone for Bellerin and Saka. Do not be surprised to see Maitland-Niles and Kolasinac feature in tomorrow's game, though. And in midfield, Ceballos and Xhaka will certainly be playing. Up front, they've got a brilliant front three, guys. A front three full of ability and a front three that can change a game. So that's what Chelsea have got to look out for. Pepe, Lacazette, and of course Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. You know, it spills talent, it spills ability, and Chelsea have just got to be hoping they do have one of their off days tomorrow afternoon. But just speaking a little bit more about how Arsenal play, in their last game, they actually did end up lining up in a back four, probably because they were without Mustafi for it. So whether they line up in a back four or not, I'm not quite sure. But I think Arteta will go with the back three or the back five or, you know, even the back eight with the way they've been playing, depending on which way you look at it. But in the games against Liverpool, in the games against Man City, Arsenal did very little attacking. I don't think that will be the case against Chelsea. I really don't. But either way, in those games, they didn't have a lot of the ball at all. They had very few shots on the goal, and they just pick their moments. They are quite clinical when they get in the final third. That's what we mentioned. They have that front three. They have that ability to go and, you know, click their fingers and the ball's in the back of the net. That's going to be, you know, it could be a nuisance for us. But what we've got to make sure is to wear Arsenal down. They do get a little bit sloppy. They do get sleepy. And we've got to not let them get an early goal. I think that's a key for tomorrow. I wanted to mention it in the video. Don't give Arsenal hope in the games because they're a team that massively works on momentum. So if you give them a goal like City did in 12 minutes off one of their counter-attacks, all of a sudden their mood just lifts. They think, yes, let's defend this. Let's get all tuck in here. Let's all work together. However, if you start mowing them down, taking the ball off of them, tiring them out, making them think that this game is not theirs, then that's when they start to crumble. So Chelsea, I know we've got it in us to play that mentality and to be that patient side, but we've got to be diligent defensively, and we haven't been good at that this season. So Chelsea, do not give Arsenal an early goal. Don't let them in. We mentioned there about how much they've been sitting back. I can't see them sitting back as much against Chelsea. I really can't. I think that they'll surely want to go and attack our defence a little bit. It would be a little bit stupid not to. That could either play into their hands with breaking through it, or it could play against it, and essentially they'll be less protected at the back, meaning Chelsea can hit them on the break. On to the Chelsea lineup then, and I'm actually quite torn here. I usually have quite a clear idea for what I want to go for, but I'm not entirely sure, and I've lined up with what I think Lampard's going to play, but I almost kind of feel like we should go back to a back four for this one. There is the risk in that because Chelsea have been playing well in the back three or back five in recent weeks, but I just think that maybe Mikel Arteta's Arsenal are actually better at playing this system than we are. We're pretty good at it, but I don't know if we're better than Arsenal at it. And that's a really interesting debate because we saw United come up against Chelsea in the back five, and you could see they weren't nowhere near as comfortable as we were in executing that shape. Arsenal, on the other hand, are comfortable in it, and Chelsea, could they then not just match them up, not make it so Arsenal know their roles exactly? Maybe we line up in a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1, and just give Arsenal a few other problems around their defence, because maybe if we line up in the exact same shape, it could become a chess match, and then once it's that, Arsenal may indeed be favoured for it. But let's go through personnel. Caballero for me has to start in goal. I've put Azpilicueta, Zuma and Rudiger in defence. I think either way, even if it is in the back four, all of those guys will start, and then it will either be James or Alonso in the other fullback position. But I've gone with Jorginho and Kovacic in midfield. with, of course, Alonso and James on the wing-back areas. But I'm not sure if Kante's going to start. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. I'd be quite happy if he does. He likes these finals. He covers a lot of ground. He's a massive player for us in the big games. But let's go with those two for now. And up front, I've gone with Mount, Pulisic, and Olivier Giroud. It's the same lineup that played against Wolves, guys. I'm not actually sure if that's what Lampard's going to go for. Willian could come back in, Kante could come back in, and we certainly could revert back to a back four. I'm interested to see what happens. Like I just mentioned there, I'm pensive over the back five for this one. I just don't know whether we're good enough to match Arsenal in it, whether that will actually end up blocking out some of the attacks we could be having, some of the success we could be getting in the final third. Let me know what you guys think about that. But either way, personnel-wise, guys, I look at Kovacic, and I need him to have a massive game in my midfield. I really do. Kovacic is a special player for these occasions. He knows what it's like to win a final. He really does. And we need him at the top of his game again tomorrow. And then you look up front. Mason Mount. That's a player who can hit the ball from long range, who has that working and driving ability about him. We need him chasing the ball down like he did against United. Don't let them in. And that's what Mount's good at. And also attacking, of course. We know the ability of Mason Mount. Pulisic, guys. I've just picked out Rob Holding there on the Arsenal team. For me, Pulisic has to get in and around the Arsenal defence. He really has to, because a player like Christian Pulisic can unlock a defence like this, and we need a moment of magic from him tomorrow. And of course, Olivier Giroud, guys. I wouldn't pin too much on him. I wouldn't say he's going to haunt Arsenal again, or any of that sort of jinxing and stuff like that. I just love the way Giroud's been playing recently. We know he loves these FA Cup games. We know he loves a good final, and we hope he can bring us to the victory come the final whistle. So that's tactics discussed, that's all the admin discussed for this one. Let's get on to the prediction, guys. And I've gone for Arsenal 1, Chelsea 2. I'm going for a Chelsea win. My confidence is going up and down for this one. Sometimes I'm thinking, yep, I think we can really hurt Arsenal here. Other times I'm thinking, oh my god, they're going to be so up for it, aren't they? We're going to be hurt here. I've gone for a 2-1. I'm a bit on the fence, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 Chelsea win. I mean, honestly, Chelsea fans, Chelsea coaching staff, Chelsea players, everyone involved with Chelsea should know how hard this game is going to be. The Blues, they have to be disciplined. We have to bring our mentality with us, though, guys. That's a key for this one. We must defend well. We have to be constantly concentrated, almost like we were against United there. We didn't let them get any space, any chances. We were constantly chasing down the ball. We were great with the possession at our feet. And finals like these, guys, are honestly, they're made with the fine margins. We have to be very, very fit in our pressing, really, really concentrated, and of course, guys, masterful with the way we form our attacks. Games like these, like I say, are filled with fine margins, and Arteta will be dying to win this one, but it is all down to the players on the pitch, and I trust us to get over the line here. It could go either way, it really could, and just to touch on that, say Arsenal were to win the game, we know what their fans are going to be like, we know this is going to be spoken about like it's the be-all end-all, but the fact of the matter is Arsenal have had a poor season. This certainly could be a silver lining of them, and don't take anything away from them, say they were to win it. They're allowed to be happy, they should be celebrating. We just don't like the way they then go crazy and say, all this London is red and how they've absolutely dominated us, etc, etc. It's a final, it can go either way. Chelsea, we love these games. It could be a historic victory for us, it really could. After the Baku game, we know how huge that was, but that doesn't take anything away from tomorrow's game. We're going to be in it to win here, guys. Arsenal, like we mentioned, they love the FA Cup, but Chelsea, it's all up to us, guys. Let's go for this victory. All together now. It's all quite up in the air, and my mood and thoughts for the long-term future are certainly resting on this one. It's huge. Let me know what you guys think, all you Chelsea fans. What are your thoughts going into this one? But let's do this together, guys. Come on, Chelsea.